Oui, c'est ce que je veux dire. You know, I think you're not ready for this garden tour. It's gonna blow your mind. So come with me. Here we have our little birds, the mint. Some new mint is growing here. The coriander is still the one from last year. So it survived the winter. I think we really have a microclimate here. Even when there is a hard frost, it doesn't hard frost here. So we can actually grow some stuff like we're in California. We seeded some new coriander here this week with the residents. This one will be for next week. And so we're gonna do the tour, and at the same time we received 18 questions. I'm gonna try to cover them all during the tour. So like for the strawberries, for example, we received the question, what is the best way to grow strawberries at home? So my two piece of advice is that I would buy some, bare root strawberries. It works a lot better than if you buy them in a pot. And also I give them lots of wood chips. I think strawberries love wood chips. And it's like every wood chip you give strawberries, they will give you more, they will turn them into strawberries. So we have the black currant, which is still dormant now. It's not really like the buds are not really growing yet. And by the way, you can see the new labels we did. We updated the labels, and they're all DIY with upcycled tiles. So they resist the weather. The magnolia buds are really looking good. They look like microphones. And we had another question on the strawberries. Like what's the best fertilizer for strawberries? So in here, we give them just basic compost and wood chips. But the general recommendation would be to give them like a balanced fertilizer. But we have never fertilized them with anything else than compost and wood chips. So over here we have the mini artichoke forest. So I know that these artichokes are very, very well loved by everyone. Like everyone I post a video of the artichokes, we have hundreds of views. And it's true that they are so cute. They are miniature artichokes. And they all have like different colors. It's a mix of different varieties. And some people ask me like, what edible perennials do you recommend? So the ones I recommend are basically like the one that are the easiest, like the asparagus. We have like plenty of asparagus planted in the strawberries, and also artichokes. And then there's a third one, I think. All the berry bushes. Yeah, the trio I would recommend are the asparagus, the artichokes, and all the berry bushes. They are the best. You plant them once and you have fruit for your entire life. Then now we arrive at the blueberries. So some of them have their buds growing, like here. This is one of the earliest one. So it's already growing some leaves, but the other ones are still dormant. I put a sign on it saying that this one is the earliest variety. And so now it will be almost too late for pruning, but some people were asking about pruning. So like they were asking what's the best time. So the best time is generally after the last hard frost and before the new growth starts. So for example, this one you could still prune it because the growth has definitely not started. And the other one which is already like sending the leaves, it will be too late to prune it. So, and then also someone asked like, how do you grow blueberries successfully? So like the general recommendation would be to plant them in acidic soil, as much acidic as you can. And same thing with lots of wood chips and mulch. Like these ones have lots of wood chips. And of course, like as I said explained in another video, the professionals acidify the soil by modifying the pH of irrigation water. So if you really want acidic soil, you should do that. But be very careful because it's dangerous product. And also maybe one question for this patch is like someone asking, why do you have willow trees in your garden? So you see this is a blueberry tree, but this is a willow tree, and there is a few willow trees all around. So first, like I use them to feed Bunny, the rabbit, because he loves eating willow branches. And then it's also very good for biodiversity. And there's a third one. Yeah, you can make some root almonds with it. If you cut like some small pieces, you mix it with water, and it makes fantastic root almonds. Oh, by the way, I want to show the mulberry tree. So these 3 mulberry trees were given by my father. They are fantastic tree because it's like a trees that will give you blackberries, like weird looking blackberries, but they are blackberries. And they also give you like gigantic leaves that you can eat, or you can feed the rabbit with them. And you can also start, I don't know how you call them, verasua.
Silkworms.
Huh?
Silkworms.
And with these mulberry trees, you can also breed some silkworms, so you can make your own silk and your own clothes based on this. So it's a fantastic tree, and it was given by my father, so it has lots of sentimental value. And I thank him very much if he's watching the video. So everything here is ready also for the future zucchinis, upcoming zucchinis. Oh yeah, by the way, if you look around at this is a bamboo structure all around the garden, so we can attach the tomatoes and the cucumber with the strings. And it was bending a little bit, so I added every other planter. I added 1 vertical bamboo during the month of February. So now it is even more resistant, so we are ready for lots of tomatoes. I put all the strawberries here back on this because they were supposed to do like some constructions, like some maintenance in this box. So this is why I removed everything, but they never did it, so I put everything back. And this strawberry is supposed to, it's like a climb bean strawberry, so it's supposed to grow like to fall like this, and then you can just pick strawberries on it. So it should be fun. Oh yeah, I wanted to say, maybe I had a question about the Brazilian guava. Yeah, can you grow Brazilian guava in temperate climates? So yes, these 2 Brazilian guava confirm that you can definitely grow them in a cold climate. And it's a lot better than the normal guava, because the frost kill temperature of this Brazilian guava is 15 degrees Fahrenheit, while the one of the normal guava is 30 Fahrenheit. Yeah, so you can, if you have a hard frost, it will not kill, if it's above 15 Fahrenheit, it will not kill your Brazilian guava. And it's a fantastic plant because like we have actually never eaten the fruit because the flowers are so good, they taste like candy, that we eat them all before we have fruit. So we have never eaten any fruit from this Brazilian guava. And yeah, I want to say something about the pond. So you know, we had the whole drama because the elderly residents here in Paris love bread, so they bring some bread to Bunny every day, and it's not good for his health. So I had to put a sign saying like, please stop bringing bread to Bunny, he could be sick. So this morning, and I have it in video, I can post it later, I found a full baguette in the pond. It means like a resident came in and put a baguette in the pond to feed the fish. But I removed it because I'm afraid the salt that is in the bread could poison the pond. And it was funny to arrive here and see a baguette in the pond. And yeah, it brings back to the question I had, like any creative ideas for garden design. So yes, I would say mix flowers with veggies. Like in this vegetable garden, there are like flowers spread everywhere because it's beautiful, it's good for the pollinators, and the residents love it. And also I would really recommend to include a pond at the center of the vegetable garden, like this one, even a tiny pond. It's same thing, it's very good for pollinators, it's very relaxing, and you can even use the water to water the plants. So every time I see a vegetable garden without a pond, I just wish I could add a pond. And that was the first thing we did here, to add a pond in the middle, in the center of the garden. So it's definitely my recommendation for garden design. So we covered this. And yeah, someone asked what are the best flowers to plant in a vegetable garden. So my favorite would be the daylilies that you have here. The daylilies are fantastic because they grow like a weed, and you can eat the flowers. They're just fantastic. And then the heather that we saw earlier in the blueberries, they are fantastic because they bloom in winter. So even in winter, you can see some bumblebees coming, and it's really nice to have flowers in winter. And then the third one is the sunflowers, because I noticed last year that when you grow sunflowers, like everyone is so happy. It's definitely the plant that everyone around the world just love, and you could not even imagine the reaction of the elderly residents here when they saw sunflowers growing even taller than them. They were amazed. And yeah, so I had a question on the compost. How do you make compost from the kitchen scraps? So basically, I don't have any container or anything. I just mix the greens, which is the food waste from the kitchen, and the browns, which is the leaves from the park. I make a big pile. I water it regularly, so it remains like moist. And now, like a few days ago, we make it like flatter, more flat like this, so we can start planting. And we seeded the first in every bottle you see around here. We seeded the first sunflowers. We seed them very early, and they are already germinated. They were pre-activated, already germinated. And the bottle is there to protect them a little bit from the slugs, and also so we remember where they are seeded. Because when you seed outdoors, you need a way to remember where they are seeded, or else you're gonna walk on it or forget about it, or not watch them. So these bottles are for this. So we are on a rooftop though, so that's why we can hear a helicopter flying over. And yeah, I had also a question. Someone asked, how did you fill your garden containers like this, for example? We filled them same thing with the homemade compost. We did not buy any soil. We did not bring any soil. It's 100% homemade with the kitchen scraps, the leaves from the park, and a few handles of clay that I added mostly in the water to get more minerals and better water retention. And then as you can see that we started sowing the sugar peas. And we added a protection here so the birds cannot come and pick them one by one. And they have germinated. I saw this morning. I looked. You can see one, for example. So it's working. This is a tiny sugar pea. We put it back. We don't want the birds to see it. Maybe I forgot. Just one question about the sunflowers. Do you have tips for growing sunflowers in your garden? So yeah, I have actually some tips. Like you don't need to buy seeds from a seed company. You can just use the seeds you buy for birds, like for bird feeders. It's a lot cheaper, and you have a lot more, so you can have plenty of sunflowers, and it works very well. You have like random sunflowers. It's like surprise colors or surprise size, but they're all beautiful, so it's gonna work anyway. And then another good thing to do with the sunflowers is you should not sow them all at the same time. You should sow them like every 2 weeks for a few months. So then you have flowers for the whole summer. That's what, for example, farmers who do like sunflowers field for visitors, like they seed them every 2 weeks to make sure that they have a long blooming season for their visitors. So we are doing the same here. And yeah, we still have some sugar peas that are alive from last year. Like these are from last year. And so the bottom is dry, but the top is still perfectly alive. And we still have some flowers. So as soon as it's warming up, they're gonna produce for the second season. It's just amazing. And Yeah, the raspberries are waking up. You can see the first leaves with the bright, deep green like this. So the mystery tree is still dormant, so we still don't know what it is. We'll know hopefully soon. I think there is nothing new here. Oh, the shopping cart is still composting. It's fresh compost, so we're not gonna plant anything right now. But so maybe the tomatoes, because now it's still like layers of kitchen scraps and leaves. It's not even decomposed yet. So we can go around. Yeah, maybe the next question is on bunny. So we're gonna pick up bunny and answer the last questions. So you see, he still loves his boxes. And I have a theory on why he always wants to open doors. So you see, for example, if you give bunny a box with one door, immediately he's gonna do a second door. So this is the one I made with a knife, and this is the one bunny did. So you see, he has his own design for a door. My theory is that the reason, because I've observed this every time, the reason is that the bunny wants to hide from the airborne predators. So he wants to be in a box, but he immediately wants to have an emergency exit, because if a predator comes in his nest to attack him, he needs to have an emergency exit. So wherever you put a rabbit, if they have one entry, they're gonna make one exit as soon as they can. Like, they put all their energy into making an emergency exit, and this is gonna be very useful for them if they have to flee a predator. And this is even the reason why bunny wanted an emergency exit in the fence here. He put lots of energy into opening an emergency exit in his fence. So if a bird, for example, come here and attack him, he knows he can escape. So that's my theory about why he's always making new doors, and one door is not enough for him. And one question we have a lot. I can take it so you can see. One question we receive a lot is people asking, like, why is bunny so big? And I thought a lot about it. I'm not sure, but he has 100 friends here, I think, who bring him lots of food, plus the food he has naturally, and all the vegetables and the hay. So I guess that is why it's big, but we are not sure. It's supposed to be a dwarf rabbit, but it does not really have the size of a dwarf rabbit now. It has the size of a normal food rabbit. And he likes being petted. I'm gonna sit down here. Oh, you can see the sign I made so the residents stop giving him bread. You should know that the baguette, the French baguette, is the number one favorite food. So people want to give it some baguette to bunny. So I had like 4 more questions. Yeah, you can sit here or whatever. Ok. C'est pas trop loin? Alors, first question. Oh yeah, that's more like I kept all the general question. Oh, you can eat the questions. So you see, bunny. Yeah, bunny is gonna answer the question. Okay. First question: how do you start a vegetable garden? So yeah, just my idea on how to start a vegetable garden. If you have never started one, I would start with one small in-ground square. Like, no, you don't have time to build like a raised beds or build a container garden. You just do like in-ground with just a square, and then you plant only 3 annual crops and 3 perennial crops. That would be the simplest, most simple advice if you just want to start a garden before the spring. So one square in-ground, and then 3 annual crops and 3 perennial crops. It's gonna make your life easier, and you're gonna have a vegetable garden. If you start to try to do more, you're gonna end up with no garden. You're not even going to do it, or you're gonna give up. Then the next question is, what are the fastest growing garden plants? The fastest are, I think, the radishes, radishes, lettuce, spinach. Like spinach is very fast and awesome, and zucchini. Zucchinis are the best because you sow them at the same time that you sow tomatoes and squash, and then you get them like next month. Like if you plant them in May, you get some at the end of June. It's like the fastest ever. So it's a very nice way to celebrate the beginning of the summer. It's just fantastic. I really recommend zucchinis or summer squash. And here we do lots of spinach in the winter and lots of zucchinis in summer. Definitely the best two. They grow like weed, and they are so good and very healthy. They are the best veggies. And then also, a question, same thing on veggies. What is the easiest veggies for beginners? So the easiest of all is definitely the potatoes. You just put potatoes in the ground, and you get more than 10 pounds square meter. And then tomatoes, maybe they are not the easiest, but they are the most fun. And even if you make mistakes, you're gonna have some tomatoes, so it's okay to not do it perfectly. And then the squash are also very easy. And also, often when we ask about easy vegetables, we forget about the raspberries and strawberries. They are very easy. You just take the plant, put it in the ground, and you have nothing to do. And for all your life, you can have some berries. And then last question with Bunny. So you can see my list. He likes reading too. So the last question is, why did you start this vegetable garden in a nursing home? So this is a very good question. It's the first time actually someone asked this, so I'm happy you asked. I initially started to grow because I just wanted to grow food for free, because food has become so expensive. Even, for example, some elderly residents here could not even afford to buy vegetables at the market. So now they have all the vegetables they want for free, all the fruit they want for free. They come here whenever they want to pick them. And so that was the initial goal, and then it became that I realized that this has become such a happy place with the elderly residents who have Alzheimer, and I love them, and I'm very happy to spend time with them at the garden and garden with them. It's just this place is a heaven. So that's the second reason for which I love gardening here. So I'm glad Bunny is with me in the sun. I think March is going to be a fantastic month. I really want to thank everyone for your support. It's thanks to your support that this garden exists, and everyone here is very happy. And Bunny also is helping a lot. He's very good at public relations. So thanks a lot, and I see you very soon.